All right, welcome to the Beach Brothers Show. I hope you're ready to get beachy.
Jose.
Hope you're ready to get beachy.
What's
It's the
going
good
on,
brother
brothers?
Jose Cruz. The good brother Jose Cruz. Good brother Conrad Schatzmann. And I'm your dude, Seko Varner. So look, the Beach Brothers Show is a show where we deal with Virginia business and politics. And man, I'm so glad that we can get together tonight and discuss business and politics. How are you doing tonight, Jose?
I'm doing pretty good, young man. I'm doing pretty good. How my others doing?
Everyone is doing well. Everyone's doing well. Conrad, is all good in your part of the beach?
Well, it's pretty wet outside. It was raining all day, but yeah, we're all doing good over here. I will admit, I get a kick out of you guys saying "young man" to each other.
Hey, you only as old as you feel, brother.
I feel pretty young.
I share you.
And as,
Hey,
as
we want
far
to salute
as far as
everybody.
that rain, as long as we don't have snow, we are good. Because I hear parts of the globe are getting a lot of snow.
Well, this part of the state's like one of 5% of the country currently not covered in snow, if I recall something from some graphic I saw today on Facebook. But
Yeah, man.
I usually say, quote me on that. Don't quote me on that.
Drunk facts. Hey, I want to start off today. By really kind of delving into one of the things that I've become more and more passionate about, and that's empowerment. So I have what I call the empowerment agenda, and that means that everything I do is focused on empowerment, politically, financially, socially and spiritually as well. But let's talk about the politics of it. Are your politics empowering your community? If not, maybe you need to do something different. If the way you voted in November hasn't immediately impacted your community, maybe you need to consider doing something a little additional to it. Some people have already received tangible benefits from their vote and support. Did you? If not, maybe you need to do something additional to what you're doing. Let's get empowered. The empowerment agenda. Hashtag empowerment agenda. All right? Bro Con, your turn, my man.
Well, I'm Conrad Schatzmann. I'm a Hampton Roads political activist. The best ideas for community improvement happen to drive me. And I regularly help political organizations and candidates further their interests as long as they're cool and progressive. I've run for office 3 times with stronger voting hauls each time, doing so in order to further those community improvement aims. Make sure you follow Conrad Schatzmann for Virginia Beach on Facebook to keep up to date with my latest political goals. And I do agree, Mr. Seko, that empowerment is a great agenda to have. That's why I'm glad to be on a show like this with you and Mr. Jose to make sure we get everybody empowered.
Indeed. I'm Jose Cruz. I'm a licensed real estate agent, Medicare specialist. I help folks that are approaching retirement and in their retirement years to go ahead and make sure they have exercise their safe money options so that once they go into retirement, they stay in retirement. They don't have to come back out. And do life insurance and cover people's assets. Make sure everybody is well taken care of in their retirement years.
So, Brother Conrad, who do we have on the show with us today?
Well, tonight's guest happens to be a passionate community advocate, too. She specializes in ways to help empower people. That's a good thing for our empowerment agenda, as well as fostering emotional healing. She studied human services at Old Dominion University, which is why I'm wearing my ODU shirt tonight, earning her BS in 2005, followed by an MBA in organizational development from Averett University in 2007. She's a presenter, innovator, an author. She's also a qualified mental health provider. She's Portia Bryant, Norfolk resident, founder of the Destiny Fulfillment Program, the Focus Center, and PortiaBryant.com. So welcome to the show, Portia.
Welcome. And thank you so much for inviting me. It's an honor to be to be invited onto this platform.
We love it.
Yo.
We, as Seko says, we are in the business of empowerment, and you're definitely one of the leading persons around here for that.
Absolutely. Before we tap in, I want to tap in. Tap in. Yeah, I've known Portia for a minute. So I first met her as Absolute. You know, when I had my radio show on WHOV, I've had 2 or 3, but the most recent one was a gospel mix show. And during that gospel mix show, I was able to expose a lot of the local spiritual, Christian hip hop artists in the area. And she was in one of those big collectives, and everyone was like, "Yo, you heard Absolute? You heard Absolute? You heard Absolute?" So I bought her project. I bought her album. I'm still rocking Butterfly from now and then. That's the joint. That's the joint. So we've known each other for years, and I stopped doing my show around 2007, around that time. So a salute to the good Queen Portia.
I will be honest.
We used to work together too.
I didn't even know you did that.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Take care of the children.
Right, and then we used to work together. We worked together at Alternative Family Treatment Services in Norfolk, Virginia. So, we used to do a lot of stuff together. I would see her all the time for a minute. So, salute the Queen.
Thank you.
For my first sort of prepared question of the night, mental health, that's a topic you're deep into. And what is it about mental health and mental development that struck you when you were looking for a field of study?
Well, to be honest, when I first went to Old Dominion University as a freshman, straight out of high school, I went there looking for communications, and I realized communications broadcasting, and they didn't have a broadcasting program. They had communications, interpersonal type communication, dealing with speech and everything dealing with people and relationships, family communications, just breaking down just the field of communications. And so then I was drawn to human services counseling. So I melded the two, communications and human services counseling, because my background since 7th grade was peer mediation. So that's always been a part of my heart. I was a vice president of the SGA, the Student Government Association, and everything leadership and community. That's what I did since 7th grade. So it just naturally went that way towards communications and human services counseling. And that's what I've been doing ever since.
Jose, tap into that question right there for you.
You got the degrees at Hampton Roads and your practices in Hampton Roads. Is the area an undeserved market when it comes to mental health and mental success services?
I don't believe that it's an underserved market, but I do know that there are a lot of businesses that have been shutting down from the Medicaid mental health perspective, as well as within the schools. I've seen a lot of companies are being excused from the schools before the pandemic as it pertains to therapeutic day treatment counseling, and principals and teachers, administration have been forced to kind of deal with behaviors and diagnoses on their own without that support. So I would say yes, in that area, there's an area of opportunity for people to dive in and just help the youth in the community.
Okay.
I really want to touch on that subject that Jose mentioned right before, right at the beginning, about your guys going back in history in terms of you have a little bit of a musical history, a spoken word performer. You also a soulful hip hop flavor with R&B sound involved. What drove you into that, and how enjoyable was it?
What drove me into just the the whole experience of I call it the holy hip hop community here in Hampton Roads, was that I've grown up in the church. And so having that platform of being able to sing and to present that way, during my college years at Old Dominion University, that's where I started off as absolute, unconditional, without restraint, perfect with Christ, complete. It gave me an opportunity to express myself. And in that vein, I grew a family, a whole family. So I wasn't involved in a sorority, but the holy hip hop community became my support village as a young adult away from home. And Hampton Roads showed me so much love. So I continued to do it, and I'm still doing it to this day. And I had a hit song called Butterfly, and it's won me a couple of awards and got me flown out, all across the United States. So I appreciate just the ability to be able to express myself in that way and being able to empower people through the element of spoken word and song, because people remember it. I've even melded it with my counseling and made up a music and counseling program.
Awesome.
I got a grant from the United Way of South Hampton Roads the summer before the pandemic, so that I can institute the Mike's program as a summer enrichment program here in North.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. It was around that time you created Focus. What did that bring to the community?
The Focus Center was being able to just reach out to the community through evangelism and serving the youth in the community, focusing on them. I partnered with the YMCA and then later became a director of for the teen department. And I was able to, through the Focus Center, be able to meet some beautiful people. You run into some wonderful people with some huge hearts in the community when you are serving. So that's what the Focus Center was all about. Focus Center, where Christ is our center's focus, and we reach out and help the community and partners with Monroe Elementary School, and providing help and assistance with behavior management, just to help teachers to be able to get through their lessons during the day. So it's just a blessing when you're able to step in and lend a helping hand, and your services is just applicable and on time. So I appreciated that.
That's what's up. I know that you were doing some work in the great city of Portsmouth, Virginia. Salute to P-Town.
Yes.
What was that like? Because there was so many needs in Portsmouth. Do you think you were effective there? And what are your thoughts about what Portsmouth needs?
Well, most definitely. I was working for Family Systems when I had my first. They recruited me from the YMCA back when, and my first placement was at West Haven Elementary School, and I really enjoyed it. It was like a dream job for me, being a therapeutic day treatment counselor, just helping children with behavioral and emotional challenges. I have a knack for children and being able to connect with them and help them to be receptive to authority figures. So that was most definitely something that I feel like I was an asset toward in helping children to develop that way and teaching pro-social skills. There could never be enough of that. There could never be enough people teaching pro-social skills development. Then later on, I served after years. How many years was I doing that? About 10 years. I'm doing therapeutic day treatment counseling. I decided to try something new and get out of the the in-home area of life, the in-home services counseling. I wanted to try something different, and I served as a marketing director for a community-based mental health counseling company, as well as I accepted a position as I was the first one hired as a parent and family and community engagement specialist. So that was a blessing to be on the ground of that. One of my principal friends, she asked me to come and help her out at her school at Douglas Park. So it was an honor to be able to be the first one hired in that position.
Right.
That was part of the school improvement plan. And I was able to institute something called the Watchdog program. And really, everyone told me, this is not the population for it. The parents aren't involved. And I didn't believe it. When someone tells me I can't do something, that sends me on a challenge mission. And so we ended up being able to not only launch the program, but have it be receptive to the point where it was 150 dads to come out for our launch night. And it was on, I was doing it on a Monday. So they said, okay, well, that's not going to work. But after a 3-day weekend, and on a Monday, 150 dads showed up at Douglas Park Elementary School.
Pause. We got to clap for that, y'all. I want everyone in the chat to type in clap. 150 fathers showed up. 150 dads showed up. Represent that. Type clap in the chat. I got to give you the salute. All right. From one father to thank you. Thank you.
It was phenomenal.
Wow.
You can find that on the internet as well. Douglas Park. There's like 150 dads. You can type that into Google. Mm-hmm. So that was the pride of my life. Like, I could have died and went to heaven when I saw that. I really wasn't ready for how many dads showed up, but we made it work, made it happen. And the dads pitched in, and they was like, okay, you need us to order some more pizza. They was ready to go down the street and pick some more pizzas up, and everyone was all hands on deck. It was an outstanding, amazing evening. And not only was it a fantastic launch night, but I'm all about the follow-up and accountability. So not only did we have this wonderful moment, because a lot of times that's what happens in our community. We will have a beautiful moment, but then there's no follow-up. That's what I specialize in. I specialize in the accountability and the follow-up. So every week we had at least, for the entire school year, we had at least 1 to 3 fathers to sign up and volunteer every week until the end of the year. It was amazing. Amazing, amazing.
We're all looking to sort of better handle our mental faculties in the wake of 2020 and 2021 sort of avalanche of stressors. You specialize in anger management classes. Break down for us what is needed on anger management and how you'd like to help on that.
What's needed for anger management is a humble heart and a willing spirit. That's all that's needed, is a humble heart and a willing spirit. I can even, work with someone who has a glimmer of hope. I believe I started off with the most challenging population. I was an anger management facilitator for the Department of Juvenile Justice for court mandated teens. And I was able to break the ice with them. And it was a 10-session program. By the 10th session, even if it was rival gang members in the same class, I had them singing together. And so, literally. So it was just a beautiful time when you're able to take people who their hearts have been hardened and allow them to see themselves transform to the point where they're able to blossom. And you know, probation officers would let me know the difference that they've seen in the youth, as well as their parents and teachers. And so that was just an amazing experience. So that's all that's needed is a humble heart and a willingness to listen with a glimmer of hope.
That's awesome. Now, mental health and anger management are things you can greatly use tools for too. You work on anger management toolkits. What can these do? Also, tell us about the 21-day anger management challenge.
Okay. Well, I've combined the 21-day anger management challenge within the toolkit as a resource. And the anger management toolkit it comes with several interventions to help as reminders for you to know what to do in that time of trouble. It's kind of like a 911 emergency emotional support device where you're able to look at it and experience it. I am a hands-on learner, so that's where that inspiration came from. It's like, okay, well, we're telling people these are some interventions that they can use. Let people, have some bubbles in there that's reminding them to take deep breaths and to breathe. We're telling people to stop for a moment, take a knee, to pray, to meditate. There's a small blanket in there so you can lay out and just create your own moment of peace and tranquility. So a lot of times we don't take time for ourselves. There are elements in there that are just showing, okay, well, there's a little notebook in there to remind you to, write down maybe, I give people in participants in my program homework daily. And that daily homework is what happened instead of I decided to. What happened instead of I decided to. So throughout the program, that's how you let me know that you're getting better, because you're now developing an awareness of what's going on around you and your responsibility and decisions moment by moment, minute by minute, to let you know that you can track your own success. You can become your own best counselor. The greatest voice that you'll ever hear for the rest of your life is your own voice. Why? Because it's the most influential, and it will stay with you wherever you go for the rest of your life. So it will behoove you to become your own best advocate. I tell people in the beginning of my program, congratulations, your challenges have now become your opportunities to practice a better way. Congratulations. So now we're not even looking at our challenges the same way. We're not looking at adversity the same way. Now we're looking at challenges and adversities as mere opportunities to practice a better way. And now that's a part of your homework, to come back and report what you were able to do to show that you were able to become your best self in that moment.
It sounds like that's helping to lead not only adults, but probably our youth down a success path. And I believe that also correlates with your effort with Still I Rise. Can you touch on Still I Rise?
Still I Rise was created to be able to empower youth in the community to have an opportunity to take part in the atmosphere of a university. When I was a 12th grader in high school, I participated in Tavis Smiley's Youth to Leaders Foundation seminar or program at Howard University. And that was absolutely amazing to me. I found that to be most empowering, to be on the university campus, to see myself there, on in higher education and participating in being able to learn about the digital divide and various other topics that was going on at that time. And so I wanted to be able to pass that on to a generation and teaching them tools as it pertains to academic success and emotional intelligence, communications, and being able to just have a moment of community, building camaraderie and new friendships. It's always a wonderful thing when you're able to come together, grow together, and create a great sense of community.
Awesome. Now, in acknowledging your writing, one of your books is The Butterfly Process. It's from brokenness, the boldness. Tell us about it and where to get it.
All right. The Butterfly Process, from brokenness to boldness, can be found on Amazon, as well as you can contact me on Facebook, and I can send you a link for an instant download for the Butterfly Process, because not only is it a counseling tool, it has all of the lyrics from my CD in the book, and each song has a counseling activity, an intervention that goes along with it. I thought that was amazing. Actually, I've always wanted Mary J. Blige to do that, but she never did. So I decided to do it for my CD.
Right.
I decided to do that for my CD because if you respect an artist, you want to know, and you're feeling their lyrics, you really want to know where they were and how you can grow in those areas as well. So the Butterfly Process takes you through a series of steps and allows you to go through a metamorphosis. Is an outstanding, amazing moment of like continuous devotion, of learning more about yourself and growing closer to God, and just going through a process of forgiveness and healing and confidence within yourself. It's a lot of growth and freedom and liberation within the book. And if you get it from me, not only do you get the book, but you also get the MP3s that go along with the experience.
All right. I love Absolute the Artist. I think it even hired you to perform at one of our Christian Kwanzaa events. That was about 12 years ago. Incredible. All right. Because she looks like she's 21, right? That's what's up. Hey, give us a couple of the lyrics.
See, I fly like butterfly, melt from the weather, my pain is for gain, grab the future, let it take you high, sigh from the war cry, learn from the story, my pain is for gain, never once does my story lie. Just call me lyricalologist, got beats to make you pump your fists, words to make you stop and listen, don't call me coward, got words to make you shower, he's your power and your dream, to make you blossom, grow up like a flower, beautiful. Butterfly, make you hot in the spirit, make you cry in the spirit, don't you die in the spirit, but the flesh. Make you grow up, Han, change your mess, must confess, to be blessed, superfly, butterfly, he's the way. Yeah, just a little.
Everybody say bars, and bars for the blessed ones. So that's beautiful. Man, if I pick up your package, I get some of the music.
The music and
why is that so important with your mission? Why is having the music so important with the counseling techniques, the anger management techniques, the self-improvement techniques? Why is it so important that they get the music as well? I know there's an importance there.
I believe that music has a way of sticking to you, and it gives you something to remember. As I'm working with youth, far as children, teens, and adults, music and poetry has a way of helping you to remember. And so as much as you can use the different, parts of your brain in your experience of learning and education, the more it will give you an opportunity to actually remember, to be able to embark on that road of applying what it is that you're hearing.
Okay, I'm letting that all sink in. So you give them the tools, and then you give them a sort of a funky mnemonic device to let the strategies really become a part of them.
Right.
I love it.
Right.
I love it.
And even with what I do with my teenagers, I'm teaching them about the mediation process. Introduction, greet, rules, take turns, listen, paraphrase. So this is the steps to a mediation process, and
Right.
you're allowing them to be able to experience it, sing it, chant it, and act it out. So introduction, greet, rules, take turns, listen, and paraphrase. Discover what happened, take account your many options, man. Try to find solutions. Look, I'm sorry, and I love you. I forgive you. Always loved you. You're my friend, so we can talk. Introduction, greet, rules. What are the rules? Take turns, listen, and paraphrase. Discover what happened. You've laid the groundwork. Now you can discover what happened. And now you can look at all of your options. Now you can try to find solutions. And hopefully we're arriving at that point where we can apologize and offer some forgiveness. Shake hands. Let's find out, okay, where do we go from here? Introduction, greet, rules, take turns, listen, paraphrase. Discover what happened, take account your many options, man. Try to find solutions. Look, I'm sorry, and I love you. I forgive you. Always loved you. You're my friend, so we can talk.
Yo, I'm going to give you the spoken word clap. Jose, you got to snap your fingers. She did spoken word, man. Got to snap your fingers. All right. Snap your fingers. Do your step. All right. Yeah, we love what you're doing, Portia. We love. I saw that little shoulder move. All right. All right. Brother Conrad, what's good?
I want to touch a little bit back on more of your writing. And you've just created the manuscript for your third book, The Truth About Emotions. What can we learn from it? How do we get that as well?
So The Truth About Emotions, what I was able to do, and it's not out yet, but it's the manuscript is done. But I will be releasing some glimpses of it. One of the things that I was able to compile was 60 how-to moments. 60 how-to moments. And what are how-to moments? Those how-to moments are everything that I found within the counseling sessions within the book. The counseling sessions are actually inspired by Christ. So the Truth About Emotions offers 45 examples of how Christ coached. So each of those 45 examples, and 45 only comes from, there are 9 fruit of the Spirit. So there's kindness, there's love, there's gentleness, there's self-control, patience, so forward. And so you have 9 fruit of the Spirit that really is character building. And we want to take on the character of Christ. No one can combat that Jesus Christ had most definitely is the best archetype, the greatest archetype for living. And so I was able to take 9 fruit of the Spirit and get 5 examples of each experience of how Christ was able to model love, of how Christ was able to show kindness, of how Christ was able to show, love. And so you get your 45 experiences of Christ. So, for example, one of the, so this is just a short version. 1 second. Braylon, my son's talking. Braylon. So I am able to not only give those those counseling sessions and those reaccounts from Christ, right? For example, let me dive into gentleness. So, for example, of gentleness, Jesus, there's a situation where Jesus is walking by and he sees a lame man that's sitting by the wayside. And so in the book, each story starts off with Jesus saying, I remember a time when. So I remember a time when I was walking by the pool of Bethesda and I saw a lame man sitting by the wayside. It was apparent that he needed to be healed and he wanted to be healed. He desired to be healed, but he wasn't moving to do so. It is sometimes in life, we have those times where we want to do something, we desire to do it, but we don't quite know how or even where to get started. And then it's at these times that we would like for someone to practice gentleness towards us. So that's his Christ coach moment. So within these Christ coach moments, I was able to compile 60 how-to statements. So that'll be coming out soon, next week, actually, 60 how-to moments. So you'll be able to look at, find a how-to moment for anything ranging from even how Christ dealt with officials, law officials, when he was being treated unfairly, how he was able to respond in those moments. Yes, so.
Okay.
I'm excited about that.
The Beach Brothers Show is as much about fun as it is about empowering business and politics. So we want to know, what is good in Hampton Roads? Tell us your favorite places and businesses that you swear by.
I love strawberry fields off of Colley Avenue, as well as the No Frill Grill.
Okay.
The No Frill Grill is actually owned by a professor of mine, her husband, the Meltzners. Deborah Meltzner was my instructor, communications, and her husband owns the No Frill Grill. I think it is an amazing place.
Okay, awesome. Any other favorite food spots or anything like that you like to go and stop in and sit down and eat?
Yes, I really appreciate the ambiance. I think it's the Seafood Shack off of Colley Avenue,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken. It's one of the newer places, the Seafood Shack.
Colley's got so many great places.
Yes, they do. A lot.
You have to go and eat there. I mean, the ambiance. And not only is it the ambiance, but the prices are very reasonable for seafood, and what you're getting in reference to, where you're eating. I mean, it's just an outstanding, amazing deal all around.
Awesome.
Beautiful. Hey, speaking of beautiful and awesome places in Hampton Roads, Brother Conrad has an awesome vehicle, brother. Tell us a little bit about that awesomeness that you drive around in.
If you want to have an awesome drive up and down Colley, which remember that is a slow driving roadway, to get you to one of those great restaurants, you need to be in a safe car, especially in a rainy day like this. And you're going to get that at Southern Auto Group's Southern Volkswagen in the Greenbrier area, Chesapeake, 1248 South Military Highway. Stop on by, get yourself a nice car, speak with Mr. Charlie Roy, get yourself a good deal too, and then head on over to Colley and enjoy those restaurants.
Okay. Now, anybody who knows Portia knows that her eyebrows are always on fleek. She's always impressing everybody, right? Mm-hmm. Now, one of the ways that everyone else can get your eyebrows on fleek is by going to IamLitaWee.com. Go to IamLitaWee.com. Microblading by IamLitaWee.com. Let's talk some healthy things, all right? So go to Common Sense for You. That's Common Sense, the number 4, the letter U.org. CommonSenseForYou.org. They have healthy health and beauty products. Now, we all know that, for instance, they have some great tooth powder. Now, the great thing about that is toothpaste is great to clean your teeth, but it's not great for your body. It's not healthy. So we want you to have a healthy experience while you're maintaining the health that the Almighty is giving you, right? Right? All right, so go to commonsenseforyou.org, healthy health and beauty products. And finally, hey, check out my firm, Positive Vibes. We can help our real estate investors with 90% of the purchase price and 100% of the rehab costs.
Really, we're
That's
right.
Yeah, 90% of acquisition, 100% of rehab. Get in contact with me. The information is in the show notes. We want to make sure that we all benefit and prosper. Speaking of prospering, how has your immersion in spoken word helped your business prosper? Because, well, I'll let you answer that. How would spoken word and music and performing help your consulting business prosper?
It sets me apart from competitors. So even as a representative for companies, as a marketing director, it gave that differing component, what makes us different, as well as while I am embarking on this, providing anger management and just doing counseling, everyone loves something that's different. And if it's something that you're not doing what everyone else is doing, it sets you apart. That's what draws people to you and helps them to remember you and recommend you.
Beautiful. And I see that you have a free consultation. So let's say, I have a problem with my anger, my children get on my nerves, wife won't stop talking, and I have an anger issue, right? Yeah. So I book a free consultation with you. What happens next?
All right. So I also call those discovery calls. And so then we'll see what it is that where your needs are, and see what kind of plan that we can develop for you, and what kind of services that you would benefit from, so that we'll make sure that your goals are being met and you are receiving the best services as possible.
Good stuff.
So it's all tailored. It's all tailored to you.
Awesome.
Okay. I'm loving it. I'm definitely loving it. There's so much to offer here. So they're discovery calls instead of consultations. Why discovery? Am I going to discover enough to make any actionable change in that call?
It's a discovery call because one of my gifts is an exhorter. So if you are in a particular mood or you're feeling something about a situation that has you down or discouraged, then I'll be able to offer a different perspective that can help to lift you and just to bring some hope in an area that you didn't feel like there was hope left.
Okay. Now I realize that you have a heavy foundation in Christianity. Could you help me if my foundation was in Islam?
Oh, most definitely.
Okay.
So just like I say as I'm speaking, even in spoken word, salvation is for everybody. Faith is for everybody. Even if you are an atheist, you still have faith. Every day you get on the road, you have faith. You don't know if what's going to happen from one moment to the next. We are spiritual beings. We can't get away from it. We have a physical body. We have our minds and our hearts, our spirituality. All of it encompasses us, and it makes us who we are. Even if we try to take one component out, then the rest won't work quite as well. Even if it's not acknowledged, it's still working on our behalf. So I appreciate just the techniques, the conversation, to be able to help people wherever they are and wherever they're from, whichever backgrounds. One thing that I appreciate about my background is that I am the high school that I graduated from, as well as ODU. As you know, it's a multicultural community. So we had, we had student bodies that had Muslims, we had Asians and, Africans and Caucasians and, African Americans, just a melting pot, so to speak, of everyone. And like I said, my background is peer mediation. And so that's all I know is how to deal with people from different backgrounds and cultures even.
Ashe. I love that. I love that. Now, as a Christian practitioner, do you have to, at some point, minimize the importance of your religion when you're working with someone or working with the general public or marketing your businesses or services to entities like school systems? I mean, do you have to minimize that part?
I can. And I have. And the truth about life is that the principles are all the same. When you're looking for life and you're looking for light, you're looking for change, the principles are all the same. And when I say the principles are all the same, we all can agree that love is needed. We are humans, and universally, we have three main needs. And those three main needs are to feel loved, safe, and connected. So in counseling anyone, if we can tap into what makes them feel loved, what makes them feel safe, what makes them feel connected, now we have a leg to stand on. Now we have a foundation to build upon. And you will definitely see growth and light exuding from that individual when you're able to touch them in that way that helps their heart to feel embraced.
You mentioned that you were doing workshops, and at the end of that 10-week process, people who were involved in different sets and different organizations and different quote unquote gangs were able to get along.
Yes.
If you were able to do that with gang members, people see them as the scariest beast in the world.
Yes.
How can we affect that when it comes down to things that happen in our nation? If you were given a magic wand, and you may not believe in magic, so just use the term, right? If you're able to use God's wand and effect a change on our country, how could we get rid of some of the things that happen so we won't have another Capitol Hill Vanilla Ice uprising?
Being willing to listen. Being willing to listen. Well, it was two things on my mind immediately. I was thinking of the Rogerian theory. The Rogerian theory virtually is teaching us that we have to first win a friend before we're able to teach a friend, or to get them to understand our side, our point of view. We have to first learn a point of view. And when I talk about take turns to listen and paraphrase, we can apply that to our daily discussions and learn how to have emotional intelligence as we're speaking. So we're not only trying to wait for our turn to get our point in, but we're listening so that we can be able to say, okay, so what you're saying is, and really show someone that we're respecting where they're coming from, and then offer a different perspective. So it's all about approach. A lot of times our approaches can be very nasty and demeaning, and that makes someone shut down and not want to hear what you have to say. When you're showing that your heart is only in it for you and not for them. So if people can learn how to listen and model that they're listening. I am listening to you as evidenced by my body language. I am listening to you as evidenced by the tone that I'm taking with you. I'm listening to you as evidenced by the way I am able to paraphrase to you what you're saying. And I'm showing respect for your point of view. And then I'm offering you my own. Oh, you're on mute. Okay.
I said intriguing. Is that Carl Rogers?
No, that's the Rogerian theory. Carl Rogers, did he come up with that? Yeah. Unsure. The Rogerian. Yeah, that sounds about right.
I remember studying that somewhere in my psychology work. I am also impressed with the 47, or what did you have? You have 45 lessons from Yeshua from Christ. Right,
yes.
Right. So what you gave a few. Give us a few more. The 45 experiences of Christ. And yeah, give us a few more. You know, you gave us a few earlier. What are some of those experiences that really shaped the creation of this? I mean, you create a book. That's beautiful.
Okay. So say for instance, when Jesus fed the 5,000, the book features a Christ coach reflection. Okay, so his reflection is, I remember a time when I got news of a horrific tragedy that occurred towards one of my most beloved and respected individuals in my life here on earth. I solemnly, when I heard of what was happening to my friend, John the Baptist, I took time to get away by boat to have a break from it all. I retreated to a solitary place. This was a time when John the Baptist was murdered. That was his friend and cousin, actually. When evening approached, my disciples came to me and reminded me that we were in a remote place and it was getting late. They wanted to send the crowds away and tell them to go to the villages and buy themselves some food instead of relying on our ministry. I told them to not send them away, but instead to give the crowd something to eat as they wished. They insisted that they only had 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish to share among themselves. Even in my time of mourning, I was faithful by telling my disciples to bring the people to me. From here, I directed them to sit down on the grass, where I took the 5 loaves of bread and the 2 fish and held them up to heaven, gave thanks, and broke the loaves. I gave them to the disciples, and the disciples gave them to the people. They all ate and were satisfied. My disciples picked up 12 basketfuls of broken pieces that were left over for themselves. The number of those who ate were about 5,000 men, before counting the women and children. Now, the Christ Coach session is, sometimes in life, we will experience the tragedy of loss. Some will impact us more personally than others. It is at these times when it is most certainly understandable and necessary to be faithful to yourself by finding solitude and having a moment to collect your thoughts and feelings. Most definitely at this time, it is appropriate to talk to God and a trusted source. But today, just as I was faithful to take time to capture a moment for myself and then to be faithful to others who were depending on me to continue my ministry and service, follow my example by engaging in self-care before helping others. Just as it is God's will for you to love yourself as you love others, being faithful to your needs is definitely a way you can do this. Consider this your preparation for serving and ministering to others. As the Bible tells us to love others as we love ourselves. I was able to pick that out of that Christ Coach moment as he was able to have a time to get away before he was once again called on by other people. So even in his time of tragedy and loss of someone who was really close to him, he was still able to reach out. So the how-to moments that I got out of that Christ reflection and Christ coach moment was how to move forward after the death of a loved one, how to move forward after the loss of, say, a job, how to move forward after any kind of a major loss. So the answer is to first participate in being able to have a self-care moment. And then you give from your overflow. You don't give from a place of not enough. You give from a place of overflow. And that overflow comes from when you are able to have engage in self-care. So before you're helping others and pouring out, make sure you're pouring in to yourself so that when you pour out, you don't end up bitter.
Interesting. And they can go to your website, PortiaBryant.com, and learn more. I'm really impressed by these titles: 45 Experiences of Christ, the Christ Coach Series, When in Doubt, Scope It Out, and Destiny Fulfillment Program. So I'm sure that people are seeing this on the screen and saying, I need to know more about it. You can go to PortiaBryant.com. That's PortiaBryant.com, and you can learn all about what she has to offer, pick up some of her books, hopefully maybe get some of your music. Because I'm telling you, that Butterfly is the jam. Butterfly is the jam. I'm telling y'all.
Yeah, we need to hear more of that in the future.
Yes. And most definitely, you can look me up on Facebook. So whatever is, say, incomplete on the website, you can most definitely DM me on Facebook, and I am available to connect with you there as well on Instant Messenger. And I just want people to know that there is hope. There is hope, and when it seems like hope is gone. And life, I'm learning after doing this so many years that life is all about that practice and that process. That's why the butterfly, that whole process never dies, because globally, universally, in our human experience, we are constantly going through a process in life. We can't escape it. And the sooner you can embrace your process, whether it's something that you feel like is favorable or something that you don't deserve, but still there is a lesson within it that will make you better if you can avoid getting bitter. So most definitely, even in that process, I can definitely suggest that counseling is most definitely a source that everyone needs to tap into. And I'm just one of the options here in Hampton Roads. So if you feel like you need somebody, you need someone to talk to, and there is something that's weighing on your heart, even if it's not from this moment, but from moments past that you haven't quite gotten over yet, but you realize that it's kind of stuck with you and you can't shake it, then reach out. That's what the...
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that counseling is something that people should seek if needed. I'm a PK. So I remember where, in the Bible, it says that in the wealth of counsel, there is safety. But within the Christian community, a lot of times people were told, and they had the belief that all you need to do is read the Bible and everything else will be cool. But a lot more of people like you were coming forth and saying, God gives blessings through other people. Seek counsel. Get the counsel. So I'm loving that you said that.
Yes, and not only that, because I've been in the church. You see, I sat up when you talked about that. So I have been in church since forever. That's how I was born and raised, and so I understand that a religious perspective that says, okay, if you want to know something, God will let you know. Pray about it. Just pray about it. And a lot of times we have left people there just telling them to pray about it and to read the Bible. And a lot of times people don't know exactly how to embark on that journey. They're just not there at that place. Most definitely, I am an advocate, proponent, of reading the word, but in connection, in parallel with reading the word, we have to have teachers. We have to have teachers. We have to have counselors, because there's just something about it. Even the word tells us, even, blessed is the man who has a friend. For when he's down, there's someone to pick him up. But woe to the man who has no one. So Jesus was all about community. He had his folks around him, and his village. So no man is supposed to be an island unto himself. There is nowhere in the Christian faith or teaching that is showing us that it is best if we do it alone.
Amen. I share you on that. I'm so glad you made that point. In our closing, Brother Jose, you have something around your neck, man, and I know you don't want to go into great detail this time, so we want to give a little primer. Around his neck is a device that helps prevent people from being infected with the COVID-45 virus, the coronavirus. So this is a personal, the COVID-45 virus. This is a personal device that you telling me you can wear this around your neck, and it destroys the ions and some of the other scientific stuff. Wow.
What it does is it protects your personal space within 500 square feet around you from any germs, viruses that cause infections. And without getting too scientific into it, the gas particles shoot out, grab the germs, eliminate them, and keep you from getting sick. With this device, you don't need to have a mask on. It's still regulation by the state, so you want to go ahead and do what the state is telling you to do. But this is something that's going to be a game changer going forward for all of us. And they have different devices available, and I'll have the other devices on the next show, and I have some more information to go over with you guys.
That sounds like a blessing, brother. That sounds like a blessing. So we've had 2 blessings on the show so far. Absolutely in the house.
And it's FDA compliant.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Last words. Portia, any last words?
Let's see. I just saw a beautiful quote, and I would like to share that. And it says, every impression without an expression becomes depression. Every impression without an expression becomes depression. There's so many of us that haven't given ourselves an opportunity to breathe, an opportunity to speak, an opportunity to have a voice. And so allow me to be your friend in that area, your counselor and your friend, in helping you to blossom in a way that you've been intending to. And you will see great results from that.
Well, thank you very much for wanting to come on tonight, Ms. Portia. Absolute. I want everyone who is watching this tonight to go to PortiaBryant.com, and if you have any counseling needs, of course, seek her out.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Words? Any last
no
words?
Last words. Thanks for coming on the show. It was a pleasure having you. We always have a great time when we have different guests on the show, and we look forward to seeing you come back again.
That was great.
We have to continue the conversation.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right.
Continue to empower the people and inspire you all. This is definitely needed. Those conversations help to expand our minds, and that's what helps to change behaviors. Having a new and changed mindset, something else to think about. So what you're doing is most definitely needed.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
This show was
Thank
brought to you by
And-
Positive Vibes Incorporated, our consulting services. We do credit fixes, we do tax resolution, we lend private money and debt consolidation. So if you need some of these services, we're waiting here for you. Credit fixes, tax resolutions, private money, and debt consolidation. Make sure you call Positive Vibes Incorporated. Take care.